In a dramatic turn of events, the U.S. Navy confronted a foreign spy ship threatening national security. As the spy ship approached restricted waters, it set off urgent military alerts. Equipped with cutting-edge tech, the vessel tried to breach secured areas, but the Navy's swift and precise response quickly brought the situation under control. What kind of secrets was this ship trying to uncover? How did the U.S. Navy manage to handle such a high-stakes standoff with precision? Join us as we dive into the details and discover what happens when the U.S. Navy intercepts a foreign spy ship. In March 2023, the Russian Navy ship Karelia undertook a daring and attention-grabbing 10-day voyage along Japan's coastline, signaling Russia's increasing maritime boldness. The Karelia, a Project 864 or Vishnya-class signals intelligence ship, belongs to the Russian Pacific Fleet based in the Sea of Japan. These specialized vessels are equipped with state-of-the-art electronic surveillance technology that allows them to intercept and analyze communications, radar signals, and other electronic emissions from nearby ships and coastal facilities. The Karelia's route was strategically planned to gather the maximum amount of intelligence, beginning in the Sea of Japan, moving through the Tsushima Strait into the East China Sea, and finally entering the Western Pacific via the key Miyako Strait. This carefully chosen path allowed Karelia to monitor a wide range of Japanese territory, from the main island of Honshu to the more remote southwestern islands. The Miyako Strait is a vital naval choke point, frequently watched by both Japanese and U.S. forces due to its crucial role in maritime traffic between the East China Sea and the Pacific Ocean. This narrow waterway is often on high alert, and Japan's Self-Defense Forces Joint Staff closely followed the movements of the Karelia, issuing at least 3 reports detailing its activities. On March 24th, the ship was observed sailing westward while scanning Honshu, just north of Sato Island in the Sea of Japan. Sato Island, famous for its long history and rich deposits of gold and silver that have been mined for centuries, adds a layer of historical interest to the region. By March 30th, the Karelia had made its way into the East China Sea, passing through the Miyako Strait, located between the Japanese islands of Miyako and Okinawa. These islands are known not only for their beautiful coral reefs, but also for their strategic importance, with Okinawa hosting a significant U.S. military presence. The ship's last known location was reported on April 4th, south of Hatara Island in Japan's southwestern islands. This region is filled with islands that play a crucial role in both Japanese defense strategy and regional security. This region holds immense strategic importance because it sits along one of the major maritime routes in the Pacific Ocean. Japan quickly took action with a swift and comprehensive response. The Japanese government deployed the JS Omi, a Mashu-class replenishment ship, and a P-3C Orion maritime patrol aircraft to the area. The JS Omi plays a crucial role in Japan's naval operations, as it is specifically designed to refuel and resupply other ships while they are at sea. Meanwhile, the P-3C Orion is highly regarded for its exceptional capabilities in anti-submarine warfare, making it a critical asset in monitoring and protecting the region. Japan's rapid mobilization showed just how seriously they viewed the presence of the Russian ship. The incident's significance extended beyond Japan's borders, raising concerns among its allies, particularly the United States. Roughly 60% of the 50,000 U.S. troops stationed in Okinawa, a key military base in the Pacific, could have been impacted by this situation. The Russian vessel, called the Karelia, was perceived as a potential threat to U.S. military activities in the area, heightening tensions and sparking concerns over security and regional stability. Every intercepted signal and overheard communication could provide critical intelligence on the strategies and technologies of both the Japanese and American forces. Tensions escalated further that same week when Russia staged a major show of military power. They sent 2 Tu-95 MS bombers, which are capable of carrying nuclear weapons, accompanied by 2 Su-30 SM fighter jets, on a 10-hour patrol over the Sea of Japan. This maneuver was not only a display of Russia's military strength, but also a direct challenge to the regional balance of power. In response, Japan quickly deployed its air defense interceptors, including its advanced F-15J and F-2 fighter jets, to protect its airspace. Meanwhile, the Russian Navy conducted anti-drone exercises and air defense drills near the Kuril Islands, a group of volcanic islands located off Russia's southeastern coast and Japan's northern coast. This area, known in Japan as the Northern Territories, has been at the center of a territorial dispute between Russia and Japan since World War II. The exercises featured Russian corvettes and small but highly maneuverable warships designed to counter submarines and aircraft, making them ideal for defending against modern threats like drones and airstrikes. These military activities underscore the persistent tensions and complex geopolitical dynamics of the region. The Kuril Islands dispute goes beyond national pride. It is also a strategic issue for both nations. Control over these islands would offer substantial benefits, including dominance over key maritime routes, access to rich fishing grounds, and potential energy reserves in the surrounding waters. The increase in Russian naval activity near Japan is part of a larger trend involving heightened maritime presence by both Russian and Chinese forces, signaling a growing contest for power and influence in the region. This situation highlights the increasing rivalry between the two nations, each striving to control vital sea routes and regional security. On June 3, 2023, tensions rose significantly when a Chinese warship engaged in what the U.S. military described as an unsafe maritime interaction with the USS Changhoon, an American guided missile destroyer. This encounter occurred in the Taiwan Strait, a narrow and important waterway that separates Taiwan from mainland China and is crucial for international shipping. This incident was the second major provocation by the Chinese military within a week, signaling a growing aggressiveness in China's maritime approach. During this encounter, the USS Changhoon was on a routine voyage through international waters, accompanied by the Canadian frigate HMCS Montreal, which was also on patrol. The Chinese vessel involved was the PLA Luoyang 3 DDG-132. The situation escalated when this Chinese warship performed a series of dangerous maneuvers near the Changhoon, an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer. According to the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, the Chinese ship aggressively overtook the Changhoon on its left side, crossing directly in front of it at a dangerously close distance of just 150 yards. To put this into perspective, 150 yards is about the length of 1.5 football fields, far too close for comfort and a potential recipe for disaster. This reckless action forced the USS Changhoon to quickly slow down to 10 knots and make sharp, evasive turns to prevent a collision. The risk of a crash was increased due to the complex systems the Changhoon uses for navigation and collision avoidance, making swift and decisive maneuvers essential for avoiding an accident. After a dangerous encounter, the Chinese ship made a second aggressive maneuver, this time staying 2,000 yards away but still close enough to pose a significant risk. The Chinese vessel then positioned itself off the destroyer's left side, which further heightened the tension. Journalists from Global News, who were on the HMCS Montreal, a Halifax-class frigate, captured the entire incident on video. The footage clearly showed the Chinese warship crossing in front of the Changhoon in what seemed like a deliberate and provocative manner. The U.S. Indo-Pacific Command strongly criticized the Chinese ship's actions, pointing out that these maneuvers violated international maritime rules designed to ensure safe and orderly navigation. Such aggressive actions not only endanger naval vessels but also strain international relations, reflecting the growing tension in contested maritime areas. This incident is part of a troubling trend of increased aggression by the Chinese military in the region. A particularly interesting aspect of this situation involves the presence of foreign spy ships. But what are these spy ships, and how does the U.S. Navy deal with them? Foreign intelligence gathering vessels come in various types, each designed for specific missions. For instance, ships like the Karelia are known as signals intelligence ships. These advanced floating sensors are equipped with cutting-edge technology to intercept and analyze a wide range of communications and electronic signals. SIGINT ships can detect everything from radio transmissions to satellite communications, making them crucial for monitoring and interpreting the activities of potential adversaries. On the flip side, electronic intelligence ships are designed to specialize in detecting and analyzing radar and other non-communication signals. These ships are equipped with advanced tools to pick up radar emissions and study them, which helps in understanding an enemy's electronic warfare strategies. Essentially, AILINT ships are crucial for figuring out how adversaries set up their radar systems and other electronic defenses. Some of these spy ships come with highly sensitive technology that can monitor signals from various sources, including military drills and secret operations. They often use sophisticated algorithms and artificial intelligence to sift through and analyze data in real time. Detecting and tracking these spy ships is no easy feat and requires the full range of U.S. Navy and intelligence resources. The U.S. Navy relies on a mix of radar systems, sonar, and satellite surveillance to keep tabs on these vessels. Naval intelligence officers also use complex algorithms and data analysis to track the movements and actions of these ships, ensuring they are correctly identified and their missions understood. Modern radar systems, whether on land, ships, or aircraft, form the backbone of naval defense. These advanced radars can spot ships from hundreds of miles away and offer more than just detection. For example, some radars use high-frequency signals that cut through fog or storms, ensuring reliable tracking even in tough conditions. Satellites enhance this further by providing a continuous, bird's-eye view of vast ocean areas, offering another critical layer of security. Space technology is crucial for tracking elusive ships like the Karelia, which may operate far beyond the reach of traditional naval patrols. Satellites with infrared sensors are capable of detecting the heat from ships, allowing for tracking even in poor visibility conditions such as clouds or darkness. Collaboration between allied nations is key to maintaining maritime security. The Karelia incident underscored the importance of this cooperation, particularly between the U.S. and Japan. During the event, Japanese forces played a critical role by providing real-time tracking and identification of the Russian vessel. They used advanced tracking systems that combined radar, satellite data, and electronic intelligence to monitor the ship effectively. Visual confirmation is a crucial part of identifying suspicious vessels. Maritime patrol planes, equipped with high-resolution cameras and advanced sensors, can provide detailed close-up observations to verify the identity of these vessels. Carrier-based fighter jets, with their ability to quickly take off from aircraft carriers, are also ideal for rapid reconnaissance missions. When a potential threat is detected, nearby naval ships may be called in to visually identify the vessel and compare its features with known profiles of foreign intelligence ships. This layered defense system and international collaboration create a strong and thorough approach to maritime security, allowing for precise and effective detection and tracking of potential threats. Once a foreign spy ship is spotted, a well-coordinated response is immediately triggered. The first step involves notifying the entire command structure, ensuring that information quickly reaches top officials and decision-makers at every level. This swift communication is crucial for organizing a rapid and effective response. At the same time, military aircraft are deployed for closer inspection. Long-range maritime patrol planes like the P-8 Poseidon, known for their advanced surveillance and sonar capabilities, might be used to track submarines from the air. Alternatively, fighter jets like the F/A-18 Hornet, which excel in rapid intercepts and precise identification, could be sent. These aircraft are equipped with the latest radar and electronic warfare systems to gather detailed intelligence on the intruding vessel. Naval assets nearby are also repositioned to keep a close watch on the situation. This may involve moving destroyers or frigates equipped with sophisticated tracking and weapon systems. A notable example of this response in action can be seen in the Karelia and Chunghun incidents, where Allied naval forces swiftly maneuver to track and monitor foreign vessels. When an interception is needed, the U.S. Navy follows strict protocols to ensure a balance between assertiveness and safety. Keeping a safe distance is crucial to prevent conflicts and ensure the safety of both naval forces and intercepted vessels. This cautious approach stands in stark contrast to more aggressive tactics sometimes used by other navies. For example, there was a notable incident where a Chinese warship engaged in dangerous maneuvers near the USS Chunghun, making risky close passes and rapid course changes. To manage these situations, communication with the foreign vessel starts via radio with standard maritime signals. These initial messages are designed to identify the ship, highlight the seriousness of the encounter, and attempt to resolve the situation peacefully. The protocols are in place to manage any escalation in a controlled way, reflecting the Navy's dedication to maritime security while minimizing risks. If the ship does not respond or identify itself as requested, more urgent warnings may be issued. For clear communication, internationally recognized signals such as flag hoists or light signals are used. These visual signals are intended to overcome language barriers, making it obvious that the intercepting ship is present and has a specific purpose. For instance, ships may use a combination of international signal flags, each with its meaning, or light flashes from signal lamps to send messages. These methods are standardized to ensure that ships from different nations can understand the commands. In certain cases, escort ships equipped with advanced surveillance technology might be used to surround the foreign vessel. This strategy helps to redirect the vessel away from sensitive areas or keep it under close watch. These escort ships are fitted with radar, sonar, and other tracking devices to monitor the vessel's movements closely. When a foreign ship is intercepted, its movements are carefully monitored and analyzed. Every change in its direction or speed is examined to gain insights into its mission and intentions. This detailed tracking helps determine whether the ship is a potential threat or if it poses no danger. For advanced vessels like the U.S. Navy's carriers, tracking electronic emissions is essential. Onboard specialized equipment can detect and analyze various electronic signals emitted by the ship, such as radar and communication frequencies. This data is crucial for counterintelligence, providing insights into the ship's capabilities and goals. High-resolution cameras and video equipment are also employed to capture detailed images of the foreign vessel. These cameras document every aspect of the ship, including its antenna arrays, hull markings, and any distinctive features. Throughout this process, information is regularly shared with allies to maintain a delicate balance of power. In today's unpredictable geopolitical climate, the risk of conflict is ever present. The complex web of international relations adds layers of difficulty to naval operations. For example, the near collision between Chinese warships and the USS Chunghun on June 2023 highlighted the dangers of unsafe maneuvers and the risk of accidental conflicts. This incident underscored how close naval forces can come to serious incidents due to dangerous maneuvers. In high-stakes areas like the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait, where countries have overlapping territorial claims, the risks are particularly significant. The South China Sea is a critical region, with over $3 trillion worth of trade passing through its waters each year, and competing claims from China, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Brunei. The Taiwan Strait, a narrow expanse of water that divides Taiwan from mainland China, is a hotspot of tension because China claims Taiwan as its own, and the U.S. backs Taiwan's defense. Any military movement in this fraught area is carefully watched and can be easily misinterpreted, adding to the complexity of diplomatic relations. For example, when U.S. aircraft carriers appear or when the U.S. conducts joint military drills with allies in the region, China may view these actions as provocations, potentially escalating the situation. The broader context of U.S.-China and U.S.-Russia relations further amplifies these risks. The U.S.-China relationship has grown increasingly strained, especially after the U.S. criticized China's involvement in the Ukraine conflict. China's support for Russia, including economic assistance and help with rebuilding Russia's defense industry, has heightened tensions. In response, the U.S. has boosted its naval presence in the Indo-Pacific region and carried out operations to challenge China's expansive territorial claims. These strained relations cast a long shadow over naval activities in the Pacific. The risk of miscalculation is high. Every naval maneuver and communication is closely scrutinized. An accidental misinterpretation of a signal or an overly aggressive move by a naval commander could lead to a serious incident with far-reaching effects, impacting both regional stability and global security. This land-based conflict is profoundly influencing maritime affairs, shaping the strategic environment for naval forces. For example, the trade tensions between the U.S. and China are not only economic but also affect naval strategy. The United States is dedicated to maintaining peace and stability in the crucial waters of the Indo-Pacific region. This commitment is particularly significant as China has ramped up its military activity near Taiwan, leading to increased attention on every U.S. naval operation in the area. For instance, on June 2023, the USS Chunghoon, a guided missile destroyer, had a tense encounter with a Chinese destroyer, underscoring the high-stakes nature of these maritime interactions. Another major hotspot is the South China Sea. China's assertive actions, such as constructing military bases on artificial islands, have intensified tensions with neighboring countries and faced widespread international criticism. This sea is a vital trade route, with around $3.4 trillion in goods passing through it each year. It has become a key area of geopolitical rivalry, with nations like the Philippines and Vietnam contesting China's territorial claims and seeking to protect their interests. While the world's attention is on the rivalry between the US and China, it's important to remember that the interactions between the US and Russia are just as significant. The ongoing war in Ukraine isn't just a regional issue. It has far-reaching effects on global naval strategies. For example, the US and its NATO allies have adjusted their naval operations in response to Russian actions in the Black Sea and the Arctic. This has led to increased patrols and joint naval exercises aimed at countering Russia's growing influence and assertiveness at sea. The connection between these regional conflicts and global naval strategies highlights the broader impact of these disputes. They shape how major powers maneuver and project their influence across the world's oceans. A recent example of this is the Russian naval mission near Japan, known as the Celius mission. This operation involved a significant Russian naval force, including advanced submarines and surface ships, which carried out a series of provocative maneuvers. The naval activities of the US and Russia are part of a larger, high-stakes rivalry between these two superpowers. Every action and decision is carefully examined to gauge its potential impact on intelligence gathering and military strategy. A critical concern in this ongoing naval competition is cybersecurity. As naval technology advances and becomes more interconnected, it also becomes more vulnerable to cyber attacks. Modern naval vessels depend on sophisticated software and networked systems, which make them increasingly susceptible to cyber threats. These attacks can target not only land-based infrastructure, but also disrupt the operations of ships while they are at sea. Such disruptions could interfere with essential functions like navigation, communication, and weapons systems, leading to severe malfunctions or even disastrous accidents. Furthermore, the Arctic region has emerged as a key battleground in the naval contest between the US and Russia. The melting ice in the Arctic has opened new shipping routes and access to untapped resources, intensifying the competition between these two nations. Both countries are ramping up their activities in the Arctic, adding another layer to their ongoing rivalry. As climate change speeds up the melting of Arctic ice, new shipping routes like the Northern Sea Route are becoming more accessible. These routes offer quicker and cheaper passage between Europe and Asia, which is why both the US and Russia are boosting their naval presence in the region. The Arctic is also home to vast, untapped natural resources such as oil and gas, which heightens the competition. Russia has already strengthened its military footprint in the Arctic by setting up new bases and deploying advanced icebreakers. Meanwhile, the US is also increasing its presence to safeguard its strategic interests. The US Navy is stepping up its operations in the Arctic, just as Russia is expanding its northern fleet. This surge in activity is driven by the region's growing strategic importance, with melting ice opening up new shipping routes and access to valuable natural resources. The Navy's mission to track down foreign spy ships is far more complex than just a game of hide-and-seek on the high seas. It involves a blend of advanced technology and strategic planning, including unmanned drones, satellite monitoring, and sophisticated cyber warfare techniques. All of this is carefully managed to avoid escalating into direct conflict while adhering to international laws. With rising geopolitical tensions, particularly between the US, China, and Russia, these naval confrontations are becoming increasingly critical. Similarly, the close encounters in the Taiwan Strait highlight the tense interactions between US and Chinese naval forces, as both sides navigate this disputed area, trying to assert their influence without sparking open conflict. These incidents reveal the growing complexity of naval intelligence and counterintelligence. They show how crucial the US Navy is in ensuring free navigation and safeguarding America's interests and those of its allies. As technology advances, future naval operations will face even more sophisticated challenges. New developments in cyber warfare and stealth technology will bring both new forms of espionage and new tools for detection and interception, making the role of naval forces even more pivotal in global power dynamics. Recent breakthroughs in satellite technology and unmanned underwater vehicles are dramatically enhancing the Navy's ability to monitor vast oceanic expanses and identify potential threats. For instance, cutting-edge satellites equipped with advanced sensors can capture real-time data over large areas, while autonomous underwater drones, or AUVs, can dive deep beneath the surface to gather intelligence without risking human lives. Artificial intelligence is also making waves in naval operations. AI algorithms are now being used to analyze enormous amounts of data from various sources, enabling faster and more accurate identification of threats. AI can help predict the movements of enemy ships based on historical data, or identify subtle patterns in satellite images that might indicate hidden military installations. The Indo-Pacific region, a critical area of focus, is increasingly becoming a hotspot for maritime rivalry. Countries like China are rapidly expanding their naval capabilities with new aircraft carriers, advanced submarines, and state-of-the-art missile systems. This region is home to major global shipping routes and is strategically important, which amplifies the competition. The growing military presence is not just about showing force, but also involves significant investments in technologies such as hypersonic missiles and next-generation stealth fighters. In response to these developments, the US Navy faces the ongoing challenge of adapting to an evolving strategic environment. To stay ahead, it must continuously innovate and collaborate with allies. This includes conducting joint exercises, like the Rim of the Pacific exercises, which bring together naval forces from around the world to practice coordination and enhance readiness. Additionally, sharing intelligence with allied nations helps to build a network of collective security, ensuring that no single country faces these emerging threats alone. Being able to successfully spot and deal with threats from foreign spy ships and other forms of spying is extremely important. Recent advances in electronic warfare and counterintelligence are essential for keeping the country safe and maintaining global peace. As technology keeps advancing, how the US Navy handles these threats will be crucial in determining the future of international maritime security. Thank you for watching another episode on our channel. While you are still here, click the video on your screen to see more mind-blowing videos like this one.